the English had captured the vital fortification, known as Les Tourelles, on the south bank of the Loire. Orléans would live or die on its access to supplies. Recapturing Les Tourelles would be key to saving the city.
Oyette, les présence, bien ordonnée. À mon cri, il est mareste. Allons ce sens plus attente. Compagnon, marchette derrière. Je fais vos commandements. Compagnon, marchette derrière. Allons, ce sens plus attente. Présence.
Advertence tout le monde.
Texte à mon prix, avale. Si fait que sera.
Having suffered under the English siege for months, Orléans had sent for crucial supplies, but English patrols threatened their arrival at the city. If Orléans hoped to receive the supplies, the French would have to clear the road of English raiders.
Soyez si besoin.
Marchier arrière-moi, tres tous. Toast egal, Laureis. Oh, jetzt les ordonnances.
Accordé.
Manueras lui, lors bâti de ses streets.
Texte, Amon Cri, avant. Oh, jetzt les commandements.
Vos, compagnons. Entreguez vos appuis. Reste tous sommes prêts.
Advertans das monde.
Bien,
Giovanni Basti. Lors bâti de ses streets. Toast ya, Laureis.
Parti! Parti!
Pas de besoin de
Sommes en ordonnance. Avant! Reste tous à votre service! Refusez-la! À l'archon, chevalier!
les commandements, Smonos. Toast ya, Laureis.
Seeing another supply convoy approaching the city, English raiders took up position on the road. The French needed to eliminate the enemy detachment if they hoped to receive the supplies.
Reste tous sommes prêts!
Ici les commandements. Acest fait vos.
Besoin. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Offre le groupe de Grecs! Ils
Oi,
se
si
tiennent
donc.
dans sa file!
Lance bâti
Ils
de
se
ses streets.
tiennent dans sa file!
Votre commandement. Giovanni Basti.
Perfect.
Ennemis marchés!
En besoin. Oh, yes, tout le monde. loyal, Lauretz. Oyez les ordonnances.
Oil, mestière de mouet. Tovali, Basti. Longtemps va-t-il demeurer?
Engin vos reste assis. Engin de siège. S'il faut déguerpir.
Oyez les ordonnances.
Advertance de...
À votre commandement. Lors devons nos salaires.
The main bridge leading to Orléans had been destroyed by the French to prevent an English onslaught.
Chevalier Bastille.
Jeanne d'Arc had to find another way to cross to the south bank and make her assault on Les Tourelles.
Oil, mestière des mouets. Oil, sitôt. Je vais rapparier ce manoir. Besoin d'y faire.
Oyez tout le monde.
J'exploite les réparements. Longtemps va-t-il demeurer?
Oh, me fa au trail. Je vous amène mes rien.
Engin de siège, si partons nos. Oil, si sera fait.
Voyez moi besoin.
Reste pour la besogne. Oyez ce que je demande. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Oil, mestière de mouet.
The French eliminated the English raiders, granting the supply convoys safe passage into the city. Each time supplies approached Orléans, English raiders would return to guard the road, hoping to plunder the French goods.
Chevalier Certes. Chevalier, reste pour Astier.
Bayez moi besoin.
Ils se tiennent nos archives. Soyez express,
The northern fort fell to the French, reducing the enemy presence at Orléans. The supply convoy arrived in the city, providing the French army with much-needed gold.
Besoin à faire.
Accepte le gain, mon gage. D'accord, Peignat. En rappel.
Oh, me fa au guerre. Y vais donc. Vecchière, mais que faut-il donc besoigner? Oyez les marches arrière, moi trestos. Laissez-moi y exploiter. Bon, vos services. Batige s'estui. Giovanni Basti. Longtemps va-t-il demeurer? Ça.
Reste à la sonne, chevalier. Ridet à la sonne, chevalier.
Attentiv, Hector s'envoie. Ongen des Mouvets is seul son chance. Ongen vos attendre. Mouvets is seul son chance.
Chevalier, presse-toi, Pierre. À la sonne, chevalier. Donnez-nous tous son presse.
Les commandements. Ongen de 13, 12 et 6.
Je suis votre serveuse. C'est le temps d'adventière, mes seigneurs.
The French army torched the eastern English fort, securing a crossing to the south bank of the Loire River.
Reste toute est à Parbeil. À 6.
Sommes en ordonnance. À la sonne, chevalier.
L'engeance est astier.
Attends. Apertisez votre courage, compagnon.
With the western fort destroyed, the French could safely cross the Loire River by this route.
Apertisez votre courage, compagnon. Avant, compagnon.
Faites reste tous à l'ombre.
Sommes en ordonnance.
L'engeance de siège attend de vos ordres.
Another trade convoy arrived in Orleans with more gold to bolster the army.
C'est le temps d'adventière, mes seigneurs.
The last obstacle to Les Tourelles fell to ruin.
À la sonne, chevalier.
Adeptis.
Régiment commence.
Sommes en ordonnance. À l'assaut, chevalier. Je suis votre chevalier. Si comme vos voldrez. Pour votre service. Si comme vos voldrez. Incontinent. Retrayez vos amours.
Oyez les commandes.
Compagnon,
Oyez. Oyez les commandements. Oyez, compagnons. Oyez.
L'heure est de avertissez votre courage. Avant, compagnon. Avertissez votre access. Je suis votre serveuse. Si comme vos ordres. Incontinent. Reste tous, sommes prest. Soyez je fuis!
Latorel was the linchpin in the English siege of Orléans, blocking the main supply route to the city. If Jeanne d'Arc could capture it, Orléans would finally be liberated.
On jump on attaque.
The King's army drove the hated enemy of France from Latorel. With the main road to the city back in French hands, the English abandoned their long siege of Orléans. Celebrating a momentous victory at the head of the French army, Jeanne d'Arc would forever be remembered as the Maid of Orléans. The French won an overwhelming victory at the Battle of Pontvalin. It was the first time the English had been utterly defeated during the war. But the triumph was short-lived. As England spent the next 60 years amassing French territory through alliances and victories at great battles such as Agincourt. It seemed that nothing could stop England. Who then could have foreseen that a teenaged girl was about to change the course of history? In 1429, France was in dire straits. Nowhere was it more evident than the besieged city of Orléans. The city was completely surrounded by English-held forts. But just a few days' ride away, here in Chinon, there was potential help. The French royal prince, the Dauphin Charles, was holed up in his fortress and under pressure to ride out to save Orléans. As Charles hesitated, a young peasant girl arrived at his court. Her name was Jeanne d'Arc. She claimed to have received saintly visions, giving her a divine task to help Charles become king and drive the English out of France forever. Charles was skeptical, but was soon convinced of her divinity. And he charged this 17-year-old with the near impossible mission to liberate Orléans. To Jeanne, this was the first step in realizing her God-given destiny. In April 1429, she rode out from Chinon at the head of her army to confront the hated enemy of France. A medieval army on the march was a city on the move. No expense was spared to keep knights and nobles in the lap of luxury.
Knights lived in luxurious tents called pavilions, which they had all of their furnishing, proper chairs and tables and tableware, real beds with fine linens, even wall hangings.
All this furniture had to be transported, and that's on top of what was needed for combat. Weapons and armor needed an army of artisans to maintain them.
The armourer's job on campaign was one of maintenance, constantly repairing, knocking out dents, simply changing straps, or replacing rivets that had broken. If you think of the knight as a race car driver, the armourer is his chief mechanic. Without him, he would not be able to function.
Also following an army was a band of opportunistic civilians, the camp followers, all vying to sell their services and goods to the soldiers. When on the march, most of the thousands of soldiers were mounted. Each knight would have at least 6 horses, all needing grooms, farriers, and fodder.
The royal household brought with them their clerks, their priests, essential for men who feared they might die in battle. And of course, their cooks.
The common soldiers subsisted mainly on bread and a thick soup called pottage. It was an altogether different story for the knights.
A knight on campaign would expect the best food. So we have game, we have fine meats, we have fruit when it's in season, always cooked, because food is tied in with health as well. That's very important. And I'm just finishing off a dish here of spiced meatballs with a red wine and pine nut sauce.
French and English armies could be on campaign for months on end, maneuvering and skirmishing until they took to the field for a decisive battle. Jeanne d'Arc had liberated Orléans and put the English army to flight. However, as the English retreated, they became an obstacle for Charles the Dauphin. He needed a clear path from Chinon to Reims, where he would be crowned king. Nearing the town of Patay, the English sought to regroup. But Jeanne d'Arc and her French army were closing in. Fleeing the Loire Valley, the English were on the run. As they retreated northwards, a French vanguard was in close pursuit.
Acceptez comme vos voldrez. Je suis votre serveuse. Quand je commande, avant.
Caught out of position, the French faced a surprise attack from the English rearguard. A detachment of English archers blocked the road with palings, an effective measure against cavalry. The French vanguard had to clear the road if they were to call in reinforcements.
Avertissez votre courage, compagnons! C'est comme votre voldrez! À la sonne, chevalier! Chevalier! Je suis votre serveuse! Chevalier! Avant, mes seigneurs!
Hearing the rallying cry of the English coming from the village of St. Sigmund, the French were alerted to the enemy position.